All right, seniors, this is your weekend. So I'm speaking to you, talking to you. The rest of you, I'd invite you to listen in. I think you'll probably find some things that are useful as well. But seniors, this is mostly aimed at you. Have you ever wondered, what should I do? What do I do next? Maybe, where do I go to school? Maybe, what am I going to study? Maybe now or eventually you're going to be wondering, is this the right person for me? Is this God's will for my life? Or what about even just right now? Forget about my whole life. I just want to know now. What does God want me to do? How do I hear? How do I respond to God's call? What does He have for me? How do I follow Him? How do I really listen? If you wondered some of these questions, I'd suggest that Psalm 1 has some answers for us. Some things that we can measure by. And it gives us two options. There's really only two choices. There's a lot of different questions, a lot of different things that we wonder about, but it comes down to two things. It comes down to who you follow. That's what it comes down to. Verse 1 says, "Blessed is the man who walks not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the path of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful." This is a list of things not to do. If you're following God, if you want to be blessed, here's the list, the things not to do. Don't walk in the counsel of the ungodly. Do we do that? Do we walk in the counsel of the ungodly? Whose counsel do you take? Who do you listen to? When you're flipping through your phone, what is it you're flipping through? Whose advice are you taking? What are you watching? What are you following? What are you browsing? A lot of this is not bad things. But what kind of advice is it? Who are we following? Is that people who are following God? Are they setting the example that we want to follow? Are they just interesting in another way? Are they interesting in this or that? Are we following the counsel of the godly? Or are we following the counsel of the ungodly? Whose advice is soaking in as I take this in? Who are you following? It says, don't walk in the counsel of the ungodly. Also says, blessed is the man who does not stand in the path of sinners. What happens if you're standing in a path? Two things. Either you end up start wandering down the path, right? Or you stand there and you get run over. There's only two ways to go in a path. You're in the road. Are you going down the road, or are you getting run over? Either one's not a good thing, right? If this is the path of sinners, you're going to go follow with them, you're going to get run over by them. Don't stand in that path. The third thing it says, blessed is the one who does not sit in the seat of the scornful. The Hebrew word there that's translated scornful means boasting or scorn. It's either thrusting yourself up, hey, look at me, or putting other people down. That's the two ways we pick ourselves up, right? I either put myself up or I put somebody else down. Neither one is good. It says, don't do that. Are you parked there? Is that something that you do? So verse 1 gave us three things not to do. Don't walk in the counsel of the ungodly. Don't stand in the path of sinners. And don't sit in the seat of the scornful. Notice that each one, we're walking, we're standing, we're sitting. Each one's getting a little bit more permanent as you go down that list. Verse 2, the things to do. So those are things not to do. The things to do, it's a shorter list. His delight is in the law of the Lord. In His law he meditates day and night. Do you delight in God? Do you meditate in Him? At least a start? I don't know what it means to meditate day and night successfully in God's law. I hope to learn that. I hope to get better at that. But let's at least start. What is it that you're thinking of? What is it you're meditating on? If you're not spending time with him, it's not going to work out. How are you going to get to know him? There's little chance of following God or really getting close to God if you're not spending any time with him. How can you make good decisions if you're not spending time with him? And then verse 3 gives us a description. It talks about this blessed man. He shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water that brings forth its fruit in its season, whose leaf also shall not wither, and whatever he does will prosper. Think about that tree. It says this person, you, who you want to be, you're like a tree planted by the river of water. You have a choice where you're planted? Not really. You're planted. God plants you. But what do we notice about the tree? It says its leaves do not wither. When the storm comes, when the dry times come, when is it the trees wither? When the leaves wilt. It's too hot. Hasn't rained for a long time. It's dry. It's thirsty. And the tree is still green. Why is the tree green? It has roots. Roots that go to the water. Yeah. The roots are deep. They drive toward the water. That's about the only thing the tree has control over. Where's its roots? What are they doing? Going toward the water. And when are they going toward the water? Does the tree wait until it gets super dry out to send roots? It's too late when that happens. You got to be sending roots now, before the crisis, before the drought, before it gets scorching hot. You're going to count on those roots later and drive those roots toward the water, toward the right thing. So the tree, its leaves don't wither, and it bears fruit at the right time, in its season. When it's time, it bears fruit. That's not our job either. That just happens. But it only happens if we've got those roots connected in. The other option, so one option, what we've been describing, the blessed person. The things to do, the things not to do, drive those roots down. The other option, verse 4, says, the ungodly are not so. They're like the chaff which the wind drives away. The chaff, the part of the grain that's not useful, that's not used, the little skins on the outside, gone. That's your choice. Do you want to be like the tree with roots that doesn't wither? Or you want to be like that brown stuff that just blows away when the breeze comes? That's our choice. It comes down to a choice. Who are you going to follow? Who are you really going to follow? Really down inside. Not just who do I say. What am I doing? What am I becoming? What am I going to follow? Your class motto, you can't move forward without saying goodbye to the past. If you want to make a change, something's got to change. What do you want to be? You want to be that chaff that blows away? You want to be the tree planted by water. So how do I hear God's voice? How do I find his path? I'd say there's a couple of overall principles to look at. And then we'll look at just some practical steps. Overall principles, how do I know if it's God's will? First off, it's got to be consistent with Scripture. God has written a lot of things down for us. It's got to fit with that. If you're wondering about something and it does not fit with what the Bible says, it's out. You don't have to ask about it, right? Oh, God, should I do this? Is this your will? It's not. It says right there, it's not. Use that first. He's given us that. The second overall principle is whatever it is you're considering, it should benefit others. The end result of it, or along the way, it should benefit others. Your class verse, 1 Peter 4:10, God has given each of you a gift. Use them well to serve one another. That's what God put in us to do, is to serve each other. Now, we do that in different ways, right? You're not the same as somebody else. You have your own way to serve God, your own way to benefit others. But that's one of the principles that you can use. Is this the right thing? Should I do this? Should I do this? How is it going to serve others? is it going to end up benefiting other people? Maybe not right now, but along the way it should too. That's how you're wired to work. Make sure it's consistent with Scripture. Make sure it's going to benefit others. Those are a couple of big principles. Practical steps. How do you be like a tree? That's what it says, right? You'll be like a tree planted by the waters. How do you be like a tree? I would say, how satisfied are you now? That's kind of an indicator, something you can look and see. Are you headed in the right direction? When you look down inside, are you satisfied? And we're probably never completely satisfied. We need to be moving, need to be growing. But are you satisfied with the direction you're going now? Do you have peace inside? Internal peace. That's an indicator. That'll tell you, yeah, I'm on the right track, or no, something's got to change. Inside. It doesn't mean things are peaceful around you. It can be a storm, it can be that drought for the tree, but do you have peace inside? If not, something needs to change. There's an interesting look at the word testing. If we think about some of the characters in the Bible, if we think about, so let's back up just a little bit. How did different people in the Bible find God's will? Let's think about Saul or Paul. Saul who became Paul. How did he find God's will? Spoke. Blinding, shining light. God said, hey, what are you doing? Turn around, do the other thing. Pretty obvious, right? Went blind, spent days in prayer, trying to figure out probably exactly how do I do this, but it was really obvious, hey, this is God talking to me. Daniel and Joseph, how did they find God's will? They were both taken prisoner and hauled off to a different country. Does that sound like a fun way to find God's will? They were run through a lot of tests, a lot of hard times. It talks in Psalm 105:19, talks about Joseph being tested. Joseph was tested in Egypt. He was put in jail and prison. He was tested. And that word testing, when we think of God testing us, the word testing in Hebrew means purging or refining or purifying. It's not a test like I'm going to give you a test in chemistry and see what you know. That's not what God does to us. He doesn't say, Mr. Alder, I'm going to test you, and you either pass or fail. You either get an A or a C or an F. That's not how God tests. The word testing, Joseph was tested, means he's refining you. He's making you better. He's purifying you. He's building you up. So God's testing time, the trials that we go through are God's testing, and they're for the purpose not of seeing if we pass, but refining our character, making us stronger, making us better. When you go through hard times, know that God is making you better. Focus on Him. So practical steps, first off, the meter. Look and see, am I at peace inside or not? Am I headed the right direction or not? And then the second practical step that I would say, my advice to you, where are your roots? What are you driving towards? Who do you follow? Where's your time spent? Has God led you in the past? If He has, keep following. Continue to strengthen. Build those roots stronger and deeper. If not, if you don't see God's leading in the past, consider that He might be the best choice. He designed you. He knows how you work. He knows you, and He loves you. He knows just what you need to really make you happy down inside, not on the surface, down inside. He knows what you need. Follow Him. Give it for Him, because that's going to end up meeting those needs down inside. If you do hear His voice, it's kind of like coaching. If you want to learn a sport or learn an activity and you have a coach, do you only do the bare minimum that the coach says? If you're serious about getting better, are you just standing there and when coach comes up and talks to you and says, hey, you need to do this. You, oh, okay, I'll do that. And then you do nothing more. No, if you're serious about it, you are all in, right? If you want to improve, you're striving to do your best, and you're asking for advice. Hey, coach, what do I need to do? How can I do this? Can I improve this better? Or just, what can I do to get better? And you're taking that advice, and you're practicing, working, even when the coach is not right there speaking to you. If you hear his voice, take every advantage of it. Follow it. Ask for more. Try and do your best to follow. Is it that way with God? Do we try bare minimums? What are you really doing? It's time to step up the game. Seniors, you've got life ahead of you and it's facing you soon. Step up your game. If you hear that advice, boy, take it for all you're worth. Drive. Try and do everything you can do on your part to follow what God has. But what if we can't hear God's voice? I've had a lot of times in my life, it's like, God, I don't think I hear you. I'm looking for an answer. I want to know this. Why? Or what do I do? And it's like crickets. I don't hear anything. Silence, right? What do you do when you can't hear God's voice? Ask yourself the question, am I really listening? And it's a yes or no question, right? Kind of like Sabbath school, it's a true or false. There's only two. Am I really listening? If I'm not, it's time to focus. Focus in and listen. And that starts with fixing whatever it is he told you last. If God told me something and I ignore it and I'm not doing it, and he's not telling me anything more, guess what my job is? Whatever he told me I need to do. Sometimes my kids want a job or a task or something. If they haven't finished the last thing I told them to do, I'm probably not giving them another one. It's like, son, go back, work on that. Remember what I told you to work on. If you're trying to listen, well, no, if you're not listening, start to focus and fix what he told you last. Start with that. If you are really listening, if you're really trying, I would suggest, my experience, there's two things. Keep going. You're on the right track. If you're doing your best to listen to God and you're walking and you're trying to listen, if you're trying to listen, he's strong enough and big enough to get through, right? If God is big and I'm doing my part to try and listen, is he big enough to get through even my thick skull? He is. He is. And I say, God, I'm trying to listen. I want you to do whatever it takes to get my attention. If it means bop, whatever, and help me to hear it quickly because I don't want it too hard. But he's big enough. He can do it. So if you're really trying to listen, keep going. You're on the right track. He can get through. Or keep going. It's a testing time, and growth is needed. You're in this hard time. You're still on the right track. Keep going. Keep headed the direction you're headed. God's testing you. And remember, he's not testing you to see if you pass or fail. He's testing you to build you up, to remove those things that are getting in the way that need to go, to refine you, to make you stronger, make you better. So either way, if you're trying your best to listen, just keep going, keep doing, and trust that God will get through when he needs to. It's kind of like when my kids are learning to walk. If they're just learning to walk, right? And they think the world's about to end. They're, and I'm right behind them. Am I holding on to them anymore? No, they've got past, they're holding on to hands like this. Now I let go. Oh no. And they're tipping around. Are they okay? They're okay. Do they know I'm right behind them? Maybe not. Their eyes are this big around, They're thrilled at first, and then they think, oh no, this is not so fun. I might fall. But it's okay. I'm right there. And if they start doing something dangerous, am I going to let them? No. When they get too close to the edge, it's like, oh, nope, over this way. God's like that with us. You're walking along thinking, God, where are you? God, where are you? I'm right behind you. I'm right here. And you go, and he says, whoop, whoop, whoop. Not that way. When it's time, he can get through. He can do that. When you don't hear God and you're trying to listen, remember, the teacher is always silent during the test. Right? If you can't hear God, the teacher's silent during the test. Just give it your best. Keep going. The third practical step, so ask yourself, how satisfied am I now? The second one, where are your roots? Drive those roots down. Listen to God. And then, so that would be the third one. The second one, where are your roots? The third one, drive them deep towards God. Seek Him. God has great plans for you. Jeremiah 29:11, for I know the plans that I have for you, for good, not for disaster. God has good plans for you. Isaiah 30:21, your ears will hear a word behind you saying, this is the way, walk in it, whenever you turn to the right hand or to the left. When you start getting off track, God will correct if we're listening. And remember, we learn through failure. We don't learn from getting it right nearly as well as we learn from getting it wrong. We learn by refining, by changing, and by trying again. You will fall. Get back up. When you fall down, when you make a mistake, this is just a time to learn. Get back up. Change something. Modify it. Do it again. Remember, even God can't steer a parked car. Seniors, you have that on your Bible classroom wall. God can't steer a parked car. If you're not going anywhere, He can't do much about that, other than maybe light a fire under you and see if you move. But if you're going somewhere, even if it's the wrong direction, God can work with that. He can steer you. If you won't move, nothing's going to happen. So get back up, try again, keep moving, keep pushing, keep going, keep listening, and God will steer you where you need to go. God has plans for you, and He revises them every day. Every day. It doesn't matter if you mess up or not. If you mess up, God has a new plan for you tomorrow, and it starts from where you are right now. He's got the ideal, the perfect plan for you right now. And if you take a big old detour and you're over here, God's got the plan for you, and it starts from right here, and it heads back wherever He wants you to go. God has plans for you, and they're just for you from where you are now. You can't mess them up. You can mess them up, but you can't get far enough off that He doesn't have a plan for you from where you're at now. So what are you going to do? Are you going to drive your roots toward God? Make a significant change. Deepen that walk. Really get to know Him. Remember, you can't move forward without saying goodbye to the past. You're going to have to leave things behind. If you're going to make a change, something's got to go. There's not room for more, right? You've learned that by now. Life is busy enough. You can't just pile more in. You can't make a change without getting rid of something. What's that going to be? So, life's big questions. What do I do? The answer to that, when you start thinking that, be like a tree. A better question than what do I do is, am I following? Am I listening? Where are my roots? Am I driving them deep toward the source? When hard time comes, do I dry up and wither? Do I wilt? Or do I stay green? That's the indicator that says, are you on track or not? What are you going to do when those hard times come? Are you going to just, are you going to keep going? Depends on the roots. Depends on what's there. Keep asking these questions. Be like a tree. If you're listening and following, you will make the right choices. You will end up where he wants you to be. While the praise team comes up, I want you to think, how can I be like a tree? Just spend this moment while they're coming up. Think for yourself, how can I be like a tree? How can I drive those roots down? What am I going to change, and what am I going to leave behind?